What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the CLC Paint YouTube channel. This is going to be part 3 of this video. I just wanted to separate it into smaller chunks so I can, instead of having somebody have to watch an entire hour of painting to get the mountain part or the foothill part or the whatever part that they're trying to see, if that's what they're going for, it'll be easier to find. I mean, I know I could do little timestamps in the videos, but I just wanted to keep going here. Let's do a layer of trees right down here. And so I've got the purple, phthalo blue, Prussian blue, phthalo green, sap green now. I added that, and then we got our white here in the corner. But let's just grab some sap green. Not a ton. And I'm going to go right through the purple with that. You don't need a ton, so you're just barely on the end there. And let's see, I like the mist at the bottom of this because that'll be our separator. So maybe right here. Right there, something like that. See, I kind of want it to come down on each side as if it comes around a bend sort of and gets thicker. And then just a tiny bit. Maybe I'll get a little more paint on the brush so this works good. Some of that sap green. We're just going to lift up to create the indication of thousands. Ooh, I did those sideways. Make sure you get them straight up. This is an entire pine forest, and if you turn the brush sideways and use the tip, you can flick up these individual things. And this gives us an entire forest way back in the distance. I even think it might have been a little too dark. Could have added white maybe to that color. And then we're going to do the exact same thing, pulling down. Now, if you smear too far, it'll extend this bigger than you want it to be. So just carefully. And that's going to be our reflections. The mixture of the purple and green will give you different color reflections back here. Beautiful though, simple, real easy. You can do it. You can do it. That's what got me started doing this in the first place. I watched a couple episodes and was like, is it that easy? Can't be that easy. I can't do it. Now here I am. Here I am. So I'm grabbing just a touch. This is liquid white, mostly oil. I'm gonna start with the corner of the knife. Just sawing ourselves in a little waterline. And see, like I said, it comes a little lower over here. So there's like little layers of land happening back there. Layers of land. And right there, right there, and right there. So you can bend the knife up to get that paint off of it. You just fix those wherever you want to. All right. See, that's a distant forest. Nice and easy. Now, next, we're gonna keep with the same brush. Shoot, maybe let's grab some phthalo green. It's like a blue-green, as you can see there. Although the color in real life here is a little different than what the camera is showing, but that's just fine. It's close enough. Take that in the sap green, and we're going to take both of those through the purple. Now this time we have a little more paint on the brush. And see, we're running out of room over here. So maybe that'll be where our foreground tree is. And then we'll have middle grounds over here. Now I don't want to destroy this beautiful spot right there, because that shows a lot of depth. So just underneath of it here, I'm going to do a big tree. But before I do, I'm going to get some more paint on the brush. Sharpen it. Sap green, phthalo green, purple. And maybe there was something that lived there. Kind of bigger than those things to the side of it. Pull that down in case we need a reflection. There we go. And now that we've got a blending here coming into a closer, we can make a distinct, individualized little tree here. And he comes down and cuts off whatever was back there in the distance. See, just like that. And he's got a buddy. Lives right there. See, this comes out on some land right there. Something like so. I'll load some more paint in the brush, especially that sap green. This will be one land layer. Then cut some trunks in there, make it look like a few trees going on. Pointy top out of that guy, pointy top out of that guy. We're gonna need some dirt at the bottom here, but if I do that, then I won't be able to do this. I just want to, oh, that was too dark. See, that was pure color there. When that smears down, it's gonna be too thick, so maybe we'll extend the land. Out to there. There we go. And just a little color. And some of our dirt can cover that up too, so don't worry too much. Give this tree some shape, give that one some shape. And come back to this brush we did back in part 2 with the little foothills. This is recording, yeah, okay. That would be funny. And decide right where your land lives. Push in, pull straight down. If you do that too many times, it'll blend in a lot, so careful. And then just softly. There we go. That gives us a little reflection. Now, it might not look the best to you, but I got this pile of almost dry brown up here. Let's pick that up. I'm going to set it back down there so we can grab a roll of it. I want a roll of that thick dirt. It's going to give us thick dirt that we can then put right underneath it here. And see, if you grab it out on the back of the knife, you can work at this little peak out here and get it just how you like it. Like the dirt's growing out there, maybe. There we go. Wipe your knife off wherever. And then touch a white, just barely. Touch it through the brown, just barely. Pick that up. So it's mostly white, but there's a tiny touch of brown in there. And then pull it right across at a sideways angle, just like we did these mountains. And it will blend and break at the same time, giving you a beautiful little dirt area underneath of your lamp. Now, before I throw in a water line, I think we might give these trees just a little indication of a trunk. Something there, something there. Yeah, that works. That works. Let the canvas take what it wants from the knife. Then, finally, I've been wanting to, we'll move this palette out of the way. Yeah, and I've got this palette gone from a couple days ago. Look at that mess. But I don't want to waste this stuff because it's not dry yet. It's not dry yet. So this is just a mixture of a tiny bit of blue, sap green, cad yellow, and was Indian yellow, but mostly cad yellow now, and liquid white. So that way the paint's wetter, but now it's drier. So anyways, we'll see what we get here. Just got a little bit on the brush there. Once again, that looks brighter than it actually is. It's kind of it's more of a duller green, like what you're seeing here. Duller yellow, I mean. And I'm gonna use the corner, just slightly. I don't want too much color on these trees. Just slightly. Don't want too much color because these are further back. So we're just barely, what we're doing here actually is letting the color on the canvas blend with what's on the brush there, and it turns into a darker version of itself. So you can barely see the highlights there. You can barely see them. Maybe I'll do a little extra just to add color. Now, we're going to have some little grassy areas at the bottom, and that will be brighter than the trees. So we're going to grab a bit more, that yellow, and shoot, I'm going to mix it with some of this. This is like a blue-green pile here, so I can get a green. I want a green for this grassy area. And I'm going to push it right up, just bend the bristles. Once again, I'm purposefully keeping this area darker back here. That looks nice. And then I'm going to do just avoiding our brown, just a touch of that in the water there. Just so we can add to a reflection. There we go. There we go. Once again, as careful as possible. You don't want to smear this brown down, but if you do, it creates an interesting reflection anyways. Getting as close as I can to see that. And soft as ever. Soft as ever. If you come from out here in, you'll put this green color out here. You don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Now, finally, to finish up this distant land area, go back to our other palette. Back to our other palette, and we'll just grab some of the liquid white. Got a little too much on it there. Just right where the, maybe I'll start back here. See, I got brown on the knife and almost brought it out there. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do it. Oh, yeah. Nice. Nice. Liking it. And maybe just to add interest, there's little ripples going on there. See, that ripple was almost angled downwards. You want to try to keep them as flat as you can, so that way it doesn't confuse the viewer. It doesn't confuse whoever's observing the painting later. But that makes a nice ripply area where the water meets with the dirt there. And see, if you want, you can do another one over here that's a little higher up, a little smaller. So that gives you another layer. And then you can do a bigger one. Like I can come do a huge tree here and block that off and do another layer. And this is a simple beginner, but amazing results, right? That's what I see some of the paintings that some people are doing, and I'm like, holy cow, that's not so simple. That's not so simple after all. Now, going back through the purple with our dark colored fan brush, through the sap green, through the phthalo green, maybe tap of Prussian blue. Now it's really going to be dark. Now it's really going to be dark. And getting some paint. See, we kept our beautiful distance back in there. Our beautiful distance. Shoot, maybe right here. She's going to come down and cut that off, and there'll be some bushy things down here. But let's get that brush with some paint in it. And just give him a sharp tip. See, I'm almost just making flat, 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 and then the more tapping you do, it kind of fills in between them. But at first, I just try to make these big flat parts. See, if you have softer areas and then distinct areas, it makes it look like there's thick branches going on. Thin little branchy guys. It just varies. And then if you have a mix of colors in the brush, it's even more interesting. Even more interesting. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to have to cut off some of our beautiful corner there. And see how the brush picked up the liquid white? That's all right. Block that off with a nice dark color. Get rid of all the blue behind our tree there, especially right in here. And if it gets too flat, there, see, that's a different, you can see how bright these greens are back there. But if it gets too flat, then you can take a darkness in your brush with thick paint and see that added that little dark right there. And you can add you can add variations to what's going on there with thicker paint. Now, sorry I have to have this weird angle. It's hard to paint sideways, but I don't want to be blocking you either. That's a beautiful tree there. I really like it. Me too. All right. I'm going to want to have dirt underneath of this. So, and I'm also going to want to create some bushy effects. So, I'm going to take the knife, pick up, see, look how green that was. Not even purple anymore. That's funny. Pick up all of our sap green, shoot all of our phthalo and all of our Prussian. This is going to be a blue-green color, real green, unless the Prussian takes over. Maybe I'll do a tap of brown there. Yeah. That'll give us a good dark tree color. See, I want enough paint here that I can throw it, that I can fill it onto the brush. That way the brush will put it real thickly onto the canvas. That way we're actually using some paint. Now, some brushes. Yeah, let's do it. So this brush was from part 1, if you can believe it. We used this one to deal with the blue in the sky up here. And this. And what we're going to do is pull it one end first through the dark color and bend the brush. Through the dark. You want it to where you tap it, it leaves a big old pile. See how it's sticking off of the canvas there? Or the palette, sorry. Tap that. So thick. So thick. Yeah. Now, shoot, maybe right there. And see, when you press up, it'll make that kind of shape. Softer at the bottom and thicker at the top. And that will allow you to create your little bush area. And then we reflect some of that color down to the water down here. This is going to be water. Just soften it up. It got on the wood area down there. Now, and see, that's what it looks like when you run out of paint on the brush. Now we're going to load some more. Yes. Yes. And bushy guy there. And see, this will change the texture from the tree to the bushes. And you'll be able to tell when you're looking at it up close. I have a fan in the Netherlands. He's bought a few paintings of mine. If he's watching, shout out. Thank you very much. But he was saying when you look closely, it's almost like it's almost like you're looking in with binoculars. There's so many little things going on there as compared to when you zoom out. You can barely see anything. It was a great comment. I thought that was really funny and true. I appreciated it because that's one of the things most people don't notice about these is if you get this close, you see things that you wouldn't see when you're standing further back. And see, this is coming down too, just like that, dude. Yeah, it's going to be darker underneath the tree in the corner over here, right? But there'll also be highlights on this, so don't get carried away. Don't get carried away yet. And shoot, this will be our highlight brush. How about we used that one when we were tapping the mountains back in part 2. Now, We got some greens to play with. Some greens to play with. Here we are. Back to this messy palette. And see that little bit of blue in the corner there? Didn't even matter. Didn't even matter. So I'm just loading this through whatever. And this looks less orange and more yellow-green to me here in real life. Oh yeah, right there. See, I'm just tapping the top corner. So that way there's like a boot end and the other side's very little. So we push that top end into our bush areas here. And shoot, there was some liquid white over here. Grab that because that's real wet. And tap that into your yellows. That'll make sure that the color that's on your brush is wet enough to stick to the color that's on the canvas. Because if this is drier than that dark color, then we'll pull this onto the brush instead of put this onto that. Let's test it out. I'm going to start right. Oh yeah, beautiful. Just touching. And then see, it's already barely starting to grab some of that. So I'm going to come back here and touch more of the liquid white right into that big yellow pile there. Super thick on the brush there. And then, see, turn the brush. This side's going that way, the top's straight, and the other side's going this way. And then leave little dark areas in between. So maybe this one comes underneath, like so. And then see, it's grabbing that and mixing on the brush. And if you want a beautiful green color, then keep letting it blend on the brush. But I want more of an orange color. So I'm going to kind of wipe that green over there, flip to the other side. We'll see if I can pull this off. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can, because there's just so much green and all this color down here. There, get that cad yellow. Touch of the liquid white through the cad yellow. Tapping it, getting it thick on the bristles. Oh yeah, there we go. So this side should be more yellow than this side, even though it looks practically the same to you. And then we'll take our yellow side down here through the red. And just tap that. Maybe touch a liquid white for that as well. Oh yeah, now it looks like that. Now it looks like that. And that will give us a nice red bush. Maybe he lives. That one makes me feel good. That one makes me feel good. See, instantly it picked up the dark color up there in the red. So if we keep pushing, it'll instantly be too dark to play with. Yep, see, I tapped dark back down there in the red when I tapped. So that's becoming mud. We don't want to be a mud mixer. So I'm going to flip back over to my yellow side, come up here to the greens, and see, I'm using the opposite corners of the brush here to keep our colors from turning pure brown. Because see, this side's already becoming not the color we want. Now. Maybe there's a bush. Blocks off the background back there. Just like that. And keep a dark area in there. Keep a dark area in there. Maybe this guy's down here. And perfect. Perfect. Maybe those two just come together. See, now it's getting green. Now it's getting green, which is exactly what we want. Which is exactly what we want. Tap around in our area down here. See, it's turning to green, which is just fine. Well, I'm just going to put indications. There we go. Don't want to lose that darkness, but I did want to put a little highlight right up there. And just indications. Oh yeah, of that red there. Maybe touch the yellow. There we go. So you just kind of tap it in there. Just an indication. The word indication goes a long way. Goes a long way. Now back to our big brush that we've yet to wash from earlier. And we're going to take this down here. So soft. I don't want to over smear this. I just want to pull it down so it looks shimmery. Because if you over smear it, then you'll lose the variation of the colors in there. Now, stunning, stunning. Since there's a little red dot right here, I'm going to echo that up there, just like that. See, the more I smear, the more that just becomes one dead color. You don't want that. You want this variation of darks and lights and stuff. Now, we've got an exciting brush going here, but come back to this one from our little background trees. And let's just pull him through this blue-green color here. Getting a green on the brush. I'm gonna push it a little harder to get it thicker in there. And let's just give our friend here some little highlights. I'm trying to keep them on this side because of the way our mountain is with the highlights. I want the left side to be darker. Let's see, I'm just barely. And there you go. That adds that bit of color to your tree there. Having a lot of fun. This is a nice one. This is a nice, pretty little picture. Shoot, maybe we need one more bush right there. Right there. Yeah. I knew we needed it. Now we're going to need some dirt. Now we're going to need some dirt down there. I've probably done this style of painting so many times. But it's what I prefer. I want to get really good at it. You know? Like I'm never perfectly satisfied. See, to get the knife here, I have to go off the table because it only goes that low. Now, same thing we did back there with the dirt. Comes out to a little peak out there. And it just lives right underneath. Right underneath of our land. We're pulling it sideways. Another touch of that. There we go. One thing to watch out for is getting your green into your dirt, because then when you go to highlight the dirt, it'll be a green instead of brown. I might get a little bit of that, so I'm gonna wipe off my knife over there. Grab some more dirt, lay it in. Comes a little further down around the corner over here. Perfect. Perfect. And once again, a little bit of white there. And we just want that white. It'll be pure white at first, but once it blends, it'll create a beautiful brown. There we go, starting to blend now. Come across and down, create like a little flat spot in your dirt. Comes out to the water there. Oh yeah. Some spots darker than others. Just like so. And that's almost too flat for me, but that's all right. We'll just let it happen. If you don't want it to be so flat, you can add a little peak. Maybe I'll show you. Add like a little dirt up there. And some up there. And that'll kind of vary the height of it. And grab that tiny bit of white. And just blend it. But see, that blended with green instead of brown. But looks like little rocks up there or something. And see, that varies the flatness of it. Or you can also bring in little grassy things with this brush. Just bring in, so you just load a little bit in the corner there, and shoot, you can bring some little grassy guys right on out there. That kind of varies up the dirt there. Looks like some grass is growing up to it. I'll have some brush washing to do after this one, but let's finish this real quick. We got to do a fun part here. This is a fun part. Look, this dark was from another painting. Look at how dry it is. Nothing. Yeah. Should do a water line there, but I'm going to wait to do that in just a sec here. Now, we're going to pull sideways through our dark color here, pushing. There we go. On one side, we're going to take that side. And we're going to put in a big old tree that's just hanging out. This is scary to do, and if you want to, you can skip and leave the cloud in there. Big old trees just hanging out here. And some more paint, make sure there's dark and light areas. See how there's soft light and then super dark. Creates more depth in your tree. And maybe that's coming in, just barely sticking in here. Oh, he blocks the mountain there. And maybe there's a little piece there. Ever darker. Make sure there's that variation of the darks and the lights. See, this is darkest up here. Almost want to make this a little darker there. Yeah. These are fun types of trees to do for me. They add an interesting dynamic to your painting once it's all done. Interesting dynamic. And shoot, maybe bigger down here. I'm almost out of paint. I'm going to need another pile, which is too bad. I hoped I would only need what was out here on the palette, but it's all right. Sometimes we run out of paint. But see, he's just going to hang out and block off that back there. Hang out here. See, if you over tap this, you'll take away the super dark spots, and it'll all become flat. You want dark, medium, dark, medium. You know, these variations. This is a big pine tree coming down the side over here. And see, I almost came to where it would cut off that, but maybe down there. Maybe it comes down there. We'll have, oh, this is going to be cool. I don't think I've ever done this before, but I want to try it. You see it in real life so often. See it in real life so often where these trees have these big old trunks sticking out underneath of all of it. And this is practice trunk. So if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. You can just put bushes right there. I want to try to do this big old tree trunk coming out of the bottom of that guy. It looks a little rough, so maybe we'll straighten his edges out. Straighten his edges out. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Big, strong guy. And touch of the white. Man, it's a little windy out there today. A little windy. I'm going to pull across with the white. Now see, that was what the first pull looked like, but I'm going to keep blending it. And I'm hoping, yeah, there it goes. Now I'm doing circular strokes. Yeah, you can see that perfect. Perfect. That will kind of give us the roundness of a tree trunk there. I'm kind of thinking it's too bright right now. So just a touch of the brown, and we'll darken it up. Almost dropped the knife. See, that's how lightly I'm holding it. It's a little darker. Maybe, yeah, come from the back side and pull that to the front. Just kind of work it till you like it. And if you don't ever like it, then screw it. If you don't ever like it, then just leave it. I'm going to grab some more of the dark brown just to, yeah, there we go. That darkened her up. That darkened her up. Now, I just want to finish this painting so you're not here for your entire life. So I used as much paint as I could to put it in the fan brush. Just gonna push up. See how it creates some grassy looking things? Push up. Really bending the bristles all the way. Bend it all the way. Here, I'll give you a sideways look. And there we go. Now see, that's not as dark as I'd like it to be. So, as a final step, I'm going to grab just a touch of black. This is actually mountain mixture, but it's pretty black. It's pretty black. I like these bushes. Practicing getting better at that. Practicing getting better at that. All right, here's our black. Real thick that was. Real thick. See how much darker? Instantly. Instantly. Let's take our knife, wipe it off, cut through some of the liquid white. And we'll go over here and we'll do our water line before we get too far along. Beautiful. Wipe that off. Get a bunch more. This water line I think I want to be the thickest, the most prominent one, because it's the closest to us. This is the place in the painting where we would see the most action going on. So you just right off the edge there. Try and keep these flat. I'm almost bending them down again. And I want a little bit more right there in the corner, so I'm going to load the corner of the knife. So that's what touches the canvas there. Dang it, see, that was at an angle. Flatter. Flatter. And bend it up to get that white on there. Beautiful. Some little ripples. Beautiful. Check her out. Check her out. Now, last but not least, this is all going to be almost the same tapping pattern here. All going to be almost the same tapping pattern. A simple finish. Yeah. Bring over this palette. Let me turn this a bit more towards you so you've got a better view. All right. Tap into that liquid white, grab all of it. So we got liquid white mixing with the yellows. See, that's what color it is. It's like a tan green. Now, just start grabbing all these colors. Perfect. I'll be out of color right at the right time. So just carefully. Just imagine where these highlights are going to be. And then leaving layers of black in between. Layers of darkness. I'm going to take the knife, pile up a bunch of that yellow color so I can load the brush with it. See, I just cleaned up this whole area. One problem with doing that is now your color is going to be almost one flat color instead of a variation of all of them. Sometimes a variation is almost better. Ah, there we go. There we go. Tap into that. That's thick. That's thick. Let's just touch right there. The thicker the color, I think the prettier the highlights. So when you get a real dense on the brush, that's when these beautiful, beautiful things happen. Thousands of little leaves. I almost like to work on top of the darkest spots. So it's like highlight and shadow on the bottom. Something like that. I'm just tapping with the corner or the flat side, but if you turn it and tap with the corner, that gives a nice little shape too. Looks more bushy than it does flat. Whatever you want. Now I want it to be darker down here because this is the base of the tree, right? Maybe thick right there though. Shoot, I just went all the way light. Screw it. Ding. But see, if I had this kind of darkness underneath of these branches, you could see how much better the contrast would be. Since I got that black color in this fan brush, let's go right underneath the highlights and add in a bit of darkness. Maybe even right in there. Yeah. Perfect. And then if you do this too many times, it'll start to just get flat, but there we go. See, that adds a bit of variation going on. Ooh, nice. Nice little tap there. Maybe that one's hanging out a bit further. That was that red corner of the brush. I'm liking it. Just putting little tiny red edges on it. All right, then last but not least, we can fill up the brush, tap it, and we're just gonna tap down here. Create nice grass. Just right down like that. I'm gonna keep tapping underneath of that, but softer. Softer. And see how it goes from light to darker. And then reload. Get a fresh color on there. And do another layer. And that'll separate those two, see? And I really hope you enjoyed this landscape here. I'm not sure I love the grass here, but if you want, you can press up, kind of thing. Maybe we'll just pull sideways. Maybe we'll put a little bush here and there. Yeah. And see, with all the darks gone, it almost becomes flat. I think I might even come back in there with that dark brush and kind of add in some shadow areas there. See, that makes it interesting. See that? How that added distance to all of that. That's important. That's important. Maybe underneath these bushes, there's little shadows. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. And the corner will be the darkest. Beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. Be sure to leave a comment in Comment section down below. Let me know what you thought of this. I believe this was part 3. Part 1 was just the sky. Part 2 was the mountain, the foothills, and then we did all of these pine trees and bushes, beautiful things. Last step, right here in the dark spots. See that? Didn't see that. Let me show you. There you go. See, these little sticks will show up in your little dark areas. It'll look like what's holding up the stuff that's behind it. There we go. Yeah, see those little sticks? Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I think I said that 4 times already, but it really means a lot to me that you would spend your time, and I'm trying to add the most value that I can. It's my dream to sell paintings, ladies and gentlemen. And so if you want to buy this painting, shoot, it might be listed in a few days for what, 50, 60 bucks, something like that. Anyways, smash the like button, leave a comment, be sure to subscribe, check the description below for links to my Etsy shop and all kinds of other things. Amazon links to all these materials. All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That's a beautiful landscape. Maybe I'll bring it up close here for you. Yeah, get a good look at it. That shows that side a little better there. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, I'll be back in the future.